Well, are you
So
trying to say that the government in Indonesia is very, very pro-Washington, or that they just kind of like to keep things calm and not talk about news in general?
let's say it's my own opinion, but uh, I'm not saying that the government, like officially the government, but some people in our governments are, um, they're from Harvard University.
Ah, I
They're
see.
yeah, you know what I'm saying. Yeah,
Yeah.
they're from like Colombia. They're from England. They're from France. So there is soft politics in that area.
Mm-hmm.
So like our Minister of Finance, when Sberbank and uh, Minister of or maybe Dennis Manturin, he's a vice premier minister, maybe, yeah,
Yeah.
prime minister.
Mm-hmm.
So they came at G20 to Bali, and then they organized some bilateral meeting between our minister and Russian ministers and Sberbank, just to open the mirror card system. It's
Oh,
it's
really? To
like a
open the
visa,
mirror
or yeah,
card?
mirror card.
Whoa.
But
So,
then, but
yeah.
then the the point that the Russian, let's say, Russian groups didn't understand that our minister of finance, Sri Mulyani, was graduated from American University, and then she was working like for 10 years in IMF, International Monetary
Oh,
Fund. So
oh
it's
no.
it's kind of
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. So it's like she was like, yes, yes, we will help you, we will help you to do this. Okay, we will find the solution for this, and then don't be afraid, we will do that.
Mhm.
She told that to Russian people that came, Russian minister. But then until now, Russian didn't find anything, like positive. Uh, Nothing.
Well, I mean, as long as the
So it's
person
like,
responsible is sort of like connected with the IMF, there's no way that the mirror card's going to get there. But
yes,
but if
yes,
things change a little bit and there's someone who's not an IMF member, you never know. It just might
maybe,
happen.
yeah, maybe our president is a good one,
Yeah,
but he's, circle.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm
He's
not saying somebody, or in his circle. Yeah,
Well, that's
but
kind of like what Trump did. He during his presidential campaign, he talked about
yes,
I'm going to drain the swamp and swamp, swamp, swamp. But then he kind of jumped in the middle of the swamp and realized, oh boy, I'm drowning too. So yeah,
yeah,
it's
yeah,
not
because
it's not
it's a
all about
system.
one man.
It's a system. Yeah, it's not about one man. That's
Yeah.
the same thing happening with Indonesia, with Jokowi, our president.
Mm.
So it's a hard thing to, let's say, to show that Indonesia is like supporting this mirror card.
Yeah.
So because we have so many uh, uh, what do you say, like reserve, like money reserve or something,
Oh yeah.
in dollar, in
Yeah.
Federal Reserve of America. So we are afraid. Of course,
Oh
we're
yeah.
afraid
Yeah.
of sanction, or something will happen. The same thing that already happened with Russia. So we don't want that situation happen to Indonesia. So that's why, yeah, I understand that our government have some position. Like we are neutral, in neutrality position, but
Yeah.
we're thinking of, like,
Well, they're in a neutral position, but the thing is, they understand that Washington has these really big, strong means of punishing you guys.
yeah,
Russia really doesn't. Well, not that Russia would use them anyways, but Russia doesn't have mechanisms to punish you guys for not
yeah,
accepting it. You know what I mean? So,
yeah.
in that sense, Washington kind of wins by default. So, and that's why it takes the stronger countries too. Like China can do trade in mirror card all day long because what's
Yeah,
Washington going to do to them? Nothing.
nothing.
So,
And I think China got used to the sanction, because since 1980 something, they have already that sanctions. So it's
yeah,
like kind of usual thing for Chinese.
yeah.
No.
Well, I'm not quite sure, super sure, but basically all the communist countries during the Cold War had something put on them.
Yep.
Obviously, China had way less because they were able to really soak up all the factory work from the West and all this stuff. So they
Yeah.
had less, but there was still something because all the communist countries got it. Just Russia and Cuba. Well, I think maybe Cuba got it the most.
Cuba, yeah.
And then Russia and maybe North Korea on sort of the second level.
Iran also,
Yeah.
maybe.
Well, yeah, that wasn't directly related to the Cold War. They just really hate the Iranians. They just really something about this whole Israel-Iran thing. That's something where I've even talked to a bunch of people. We've had Iranians on this program, and I still don't quite understand why. If you think about it, like across the whole world, there's always these sort of like ethnic strife of like these like in America, it's white versus black for historical reasons, right? But I never quite understand why it's always Iran, Israel when there's a big space in between them. I don't quite, but maybe one day someone can come on the program and explain it to us. But that's something. Are there any kind of like inter-ethnic problems within Indonesia? Because you have all these different islands with all these different people. You have neighbors. What is the sort of key, I guess, racist or ethnic conflict kind of thing within Indonesian society?
Yes, of course, we have a lot.
Oh,
we had a lot, yeah, because we are Indonesia. Indonesia is like a country with multi ethnicities, multi religion, multi languages, of course. So, of course, many of these conflicts were based on religion. Majority. Majority versus minority, our majority in Indonesia is Muslim.
Yeah.
But then we have like some 10% of Christians, Hinduism, and then Buddhism. And then also Konghucu is like Confucius or something.
Confucian,
Confusion, yeah. And then we have also our Orthodox, like Orthodox in Russia.
Oh.
So it's also I'm not sure that it is 100% related to the politics, but it also have some relation to the politics between 2000, maybe 2013, 2019, because that time like in United States it's like Trump and other things related to Trump. We have also those kind of like separation of Indonesians, like we call it like kadrun, and kadrun, it means like people who support the Taliban, the radicalists, you know what I'm saying, yeah. And then we have also cebong have some meaning people who are supporting the unity in diversity thing, like, because we have our in Indonesian we call it semboyan. Semboyan is like a slogan, like unity in diversity. So you're Muslim, I'm a Catholic, he's like Protestant, he's a Hindu, but we are Indonesian. This is all about this group. But the other group is like kadrun, is consisted of people from actually they graduated from Egypt, from Afghanistan, from Maghreban countries. And then they came to Indonesia. They made some Islamic parties just to offer their ideal about the Islamic Indonesia. It's not the same thing with our, our first president of Indonesia, Sukarno, wanted, because he wanted Indonesia to be, like multi-ethnic country, multi-religions, and so on and so on. But this thing, as in English we call it also Wahhabism. Wahhabism. Yeah, it's like Wahhabism. So this Wahhabism, after 2013, 2014, they came to the official, let's say, arena, like our parliaments and circle our governmental organization like
Yeah.
parliaments, and then presidential organs. So it's kind of not good for our, our
Well, if they're real
sovereignty.
hobbyists, does that mean that they want to kill everyone who doesn't agree with them?
Who doesn't agree with Islam even.
Uh-huh.
So it's the problem with our constitution, because our constitution, uh, we support not only Islam. So it's gonna be like we have to change the constitution, and then we have to change the state.
Mm-hmm.
The basic fundamental thing and aspect about this country. I mean, about Indonesia. So it's not possible.
Mm-hmm.
So to let's say to stop that, we have to choose like the alternative. Our alternative was Jokowi, our president now.
Mm-hmm.
But then his circle like are very, let's say, American, like pro Washington people that like everything is should be related to America. Even when Trump was like mm, what year the Trump was like elected?
Wasn't it
2000
2016? He went to 2016 and
yeah,
20
yeah,
2020. Was
yeah,
it? Yeah.
2016. 2016, our people like even they trusted that Trump is like a product of Russian government, and then
Oh.
that kind of fake, and then I have my own sibling there living, has already American citizen.
Mm-hmm.
She's a doctor. She's working in Atlanta. So she said like, no, 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 Trump is, it's okay because I elected Trump, but then uh, situation changed very fast, and I didn't even know what was happening.
Oh my
you know,
gosh.
yeah.
Oh.
So it's like related to Indonesia, but then after after Trump what do you call it in the Capitol hall, when the people came into
Oh, those
like
riots on
Russia
January.
riots in January. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah,
the
in
January
January.
riots. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So
Uh-huh.
after that, they used that example not to choose some people or some groups that are related to Russia or Trump or something related to Russia and Trump.
Oh.
So in Indonesian mind, especially people who work in government, our government is like Trump means Russia. So it's like, you know,
Wow.
so it's a very huge, the power of soft diplomacy, power of uh, American soft diplomacy in Indonesia.
Huh.
Yeah,
Well, that's
yeah,
pretty crazy. That's I was
that's crazy. Yeah.
I was not expecting that. One question I think I'm good. The audience I think would really want to know is so. Like for example, there are some really strongly Islamic regions of Russia, like in Chechnya and Ingushetia.
Yeah.
But how it kind of breaks down is what is an Islamic region of Russia? Men have to wear long pants. There's no hard liquor for sale. You can find beer, but obviously drinking is a real no-no, and there are no pork products. But otherwise, life is kind of the same. As in, like other places or in Europe or in America, besides these sort of a small set of these rules. What does Islam actually look like in Indonesia?
We have the conception of Islam Nusantara.
Mm-hmm.
Nusantara means, we have already named our new capital city in the island of Kalimantan, I mean, Borneo.
Yeah.
It's a city of Nusantara.
Mm-hmm.
Nusantara, it's a very old, not country, but uh, like in Russia, I forgot it. In English, it's a gasudarstva,
Like a nation or a
like
country or
nation, yeah, yeah,
yeah,
nation or old country
yeah.
in Southeast Asia, including like Thailand, Vietnam, Burma, Malaysia, Singapore, Indonesia. It was before named like or called Nusantara.
Mm-hmm.
So the Islamic conception of Nusantara means like, yes, you're Islam, you're Muslim, but you were born in Indonesia, not in
Mm-hmm.
Arabian
Yeah.
countries, or not in, I don't know, in somewhere else, but you were born in Indonesia. So uh, like instead of making yourself very like Arabian Muslim, you have to make yourself comfortable with your culture as Indonesian and your religion as an Islam and a Muslim. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
so Islam Nusantara means like you're Islam, but you're accepting also our culture. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
Indonesian culture. I mean, like the unity and diversity, and then you have to support other people from other religions, and you have to help them even if they are not from your own like religion. Like, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
if they are like Christian or Buddhist or Hindu or something else.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to be Nusantara. Nusantara means like you have to be united with other people, not only with Muslims. So it's kind of good thing, but now we're trying to, like make these things internalize inside Indonesian like younger or youngsters, because after 2014, 20, even 2019, many Indonesian, even in the big cities, young Indonesians, they came to the think that, let's say, okay, I'm a Muslim, so I have to kill these people because he is supporting, other president that is not Islamic. You know what I
Oh
mean?
boy.
So and uh, this kind of people, they are not very, like mature people, but they're like, for example, 14 years old, like 20 years old, like 17, 15, the age of like change age, when they're trying to
Yeah, when you're
find.
like a
Yeah,
teenager or something. Oh
yeah,
yeah, that's why in a lot of ways, like revolutions and riots and all
yeah,
that,
like
they're
rebel,
they're,
yeah,
they're not with
rebel
I.
age.
I don't know how old you are. I assume you're over 30, but generally us men, when we hit about 30 years old, we're not going to be doing too much rioting anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah,
So yeah, it's definitely a particular group that could fall into that. And
yeah,
also when
so
you're a teenager, everything seems very black and white. Like you just said, it's like,
yeah,
well, this is the good guy president because he's more Islamic. The other guy's the bad guy
yeah.
president, so let's kill him. Like, it's just this very teenager way of seeing the world.
Yeah, so the government of
So,
Indonesia has already, well, they're concerned about this problem, and they has already started to, to do some, like literation program to like teenagers or young Indonesians, just to
mm-hmm,
change
mm-hmm.
their narrow-minded, like conception or something like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. All right. Well, Raymond, thank you very much. Oh, but before we go, one thing I gotta have you say is that you didn't mention yet that I think is probably the most fascinating thing about you. Not only that you speak 5 languages, which is crazy, but you're
Oh
an
yeah.
opera singer. Is that correct?
Yeah. That's correct. I was like. Graduating, I was graduated from Paris Conservatory.
Uh huh.
I mean, French Conservatory. I'm a baritone.
Mm-hmm.
But then when I came to Indonesia back to find some, like some profession or some job related to my profession, I couldn't find it because Indonesia
Oh.
is not a country like Europe or United States or Russia. Uh, they we have our own like concert places, but it's not the thing that we have it in Russia, even, yeah, let's say in
Yeah.
Moscow. So so low salary, and then not regularly got so
Yeah. Not
yeah, I was,
regular work. Yeah.
and then yeah, and then I was like, okay, I was decided. I was deciding to okay, I will move to Russia, because my father told me to move to Russia because my father was Russian, great, not Russians, Soviet Union graduated.
Mm-hmm.
So he told me like, go to Moscow. I have some friends that can find you some profession related to the legal something, like international legal or law. So I told him, so what about the music? You'll find yourself in music and in your, let's say, second profession in Moscow very
Hmm.
easily, because in Moscow people are not not doing well, let's say they are doing money just to have some fun. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Russian they're having their own salary, and then they go to Bali like for once a year, and then
Hmm.
or to I don't know, to Europe, to
Hmm.
America before sanction, and then maybe to Crimea. But then also they're making money just to see some concerts, see some opera. And
Oh
then
yeah.
when I came to Moscow, I tried it. I tried very hard to show everybody that I'm a singer. And
Hmm.
then I was like joining competition in Moscow, and then I was I won that place, the first place, and then after that I was invited to sing in front of Vladimir Putin
Oh,
in
whoa, whoa.
2010, 2011. To
Yeah.
sing in Kremlin, and then after that, I was like invited to, well, let's say, many concerts and many like swadba, you know, like
Yeah, the weddings.
marriage, because
Yeah.
weddings for Indonesian, it's a simple, I mean, not so simple, but it's a simple thing. But for Russian, it's like singing. Wedding is it means singing, drinking, and then dancing.
Yeah, yeah,
You know what I'm saying. So it's good. I was like singing in one of Russian artists' wedding, one of Russian artists' son
yeah.
wedding. So it's like interesting. And then in the 2nd of May, I was invited, and I will come to sing in Kremlin, also to
Hmm.
sing for Den Победы, Victory Days of Russia.
Yeah.
So it's interesting to sing in Russia than in Indonesia, because in Indonesia, many people don't understand what is that opera thing like. Even when I started to like singing like, oh, they said like, oh no, it's like kind of old thing, like old
Well, yeah, well, here's
fashioned.
the thing. How did you fall in love with opera as like an Indonesian person? Like, how did that even? How'd you even
Well, I
hear about
was,
it?
yeah, since I was like 10 years old, I was in a church choir. So it's for
Ah,
me, it's a normal thing, like usual thing to sing with the opera technique.
yeah.
So it's okay. Yeah, well, maybe because I'm a Christian, so that's why I know how to do it.
Oh, I see. You'd be surprised, man. There are so many celebrities, like rappers and singers and all
Yep.
that say they got their start in church. So you're not the only one by far. Well,
Yep.
Well, anyways, Raymond,
Yeah.
thank you very much for your time. We've been
Thank you so
talking for
much. Yeah.
almost, it looks like almost an hour here. So that's really awesome. I know you've got
Wow.
a ton of
Wow.
stuff to do. So, anyways, man, I'll hopefully see you in real life in the near future. Anyways, thank you guys for
Yeah.
watching. You guys can check out Raymond's channel, which, guess what, is in the description. So, you go down the description, you can see what he's up to. A little bit of Russian, a little bit of Indonesian, but regardless, give it a click, especially you Russians out there who like to listen to me talk in English. All right, thanks, Raymond.
Okay.
Catch you
Thank you.
later.
Thank you, Tim.
So anyways, guys, if you enjoyed this video and you like the opinions coming out of my big fat mouth, then join up on my Telegram channel. That's Tim Kirby Hardcore on Telegram. Link, of course, in the description.